Imagine uncovering a hidden thread in God's grand design, woven through a nation many might overlook, the Philippines. While it may not be directly mentioned by name in Scripture, this archipelago of over 7,000 breathtaking islands may carry a spiritual and prophetic weight far greater than its modest biblical footprint suggests. Celebrated for its vibrant culture and natural beauty, the Philippines might be far more than a geographical marvel. It could be a spiritual bridge between ancient history and future prophecy. Some biblical scholars and historians have begun to draw connections between this Southeast Asian nation and the mysterious land of Ophir, a place of extraordinary riches mentioned in the Bible. Could it be that the Philippines, with its deeply rooted Christian faith and unique cultural heritage, is destined to rise as a spiritual stronghold in Asia during the end times? Let's begin to unravel the layers of history, prophecy, and biblical mystery surrounding this fascinating land. Scripture reveals that after the flood, the sons of Noah, Shem, Ham, and Japheth, became the patriarchs of all the peoples of the earth, Genesis 10. This chapter, often overlooked, holds deep clues about the origins of nations. Many historians and biblical researchers suggest that the Filipino people, due to their ethnic diversity, may descend from both Japheth and Ham. Japheth, Noah's eldest son, is traditionally viewed as the progenitor of many European and Asian peoples. Among his descendants is Tagarma, the son of Gomer, whose lineage extended into regions that some speculate could have reached the Pacific Islands. If so, this could mean that some Filipino lineages stem from Japhetic tribes that migrated eastward across the Asian continent. Have you already clicked on the like button and subscribed to the channel? This helps us understand that you are enjoying our videos and YouTube is sending you more. We count on your help. Let's go back to the video. At the same time, Ham, the second son of Noah, is recognized as the father of many African and some Asian civilizations. His sons, Cush, Mizraim, Put, and Canaan, formed the foundations of powerful nations like Egypt and Ethiopia. Biblical narratives often associate Ham's descendants with strength, innovation, and cultural legacy. It's conceivable that migrations from Hamitic peoples reached Southeast Asia and mixed with Japhetic descendants, contributing to the Philippines' incredible ethnic and cultural diversity. This potential fusion of two of the Bible's most influential bloodlines suggests the Filipino identity is not just rich in history, but spiritually significant. Genesis 10 isn't just a genealogical list, it's a divine map of humanity's destiny. Japheth's lineage carries with it a biblical promise of expansion and influence. Genesis 9 verse 27 says, "May God enlarge Japheth, and let him dwell in the tents of Shem, and let Canaan be his servant." This verse implies not only growth but spiritual inheritance through proximity to Shem's blessing. Historically, Japheth's descendants did spread widely into Europe and Asia, impacting cultures and politics across continents. Ham's descendants, though marked by the curse on Canaan in Genesis 9 verse 25, nonetheless built some of the most significant civilizations in Scripture. Cush became Ethiopia, Mizraim became Egypt, and Canaan gave its name to the land God would later promise to Abraham. The prominence of these civilizations in biblical and world history speaks to a paradoxical strength amid struggle. If the Filipino people indeed carry both Japhetic and Hamitic heritage, they may embody both expansion and endurance. This can be seen in how the Filipino diaspora has reached every corner of the globe, carrying culture, language, and often a deep Christian faith. Their resilience, adaptability, and spiritual tenacity reflect a deeper legacy. The Bible shows us that those with mixed heritage, like Ruth the Moabite or Rahab of Jericho, can become central figures in God's redemptive story. Could it be that Filipinos, with their blended ancestry, stand poised for a unique spiritual role in these prophetic times? Then there is Ophir, the golden mystery of the Bible. Mentioned in 1 Kings 10 verse 22, this land was the source of King Solomon's great wealth. For the king had a fleet of ships of Tarshish at sea with the fleet of Hiram. Once every 3 years the fleet of ships of Tarshish used to come bringing gold, silver, ivory, apes, and peacocks. Ophir was a land far off, accessible by sea, and rich beyond imagination. While scholars have long debated its location, from Africa to India to South America, modern researchers are considering a compelling case. What if Ophir is the Philippines? The evidence isn't conclusive, but it's striking. The pre-colonial Filipinos were known for their abundant gold, which they crafted into jewelry, ceremonial objects, and even clothing. Ancient maritime trade routes show that Filipino merchants traded with India, China, and Arabia. Could these be the very sea routes that brought Solomon's ships to Ophir? The geographical and historical alignment between Ophir's biblical description and the Philippines' ancient trade prowess makes this theory both plausible and powerful. When the Bible describes Ophir as a place of unmatched riches brought to Israel by ship, it doesn't just speak to geography, it points to divine provision, global connection, and prophetic wealth transfer. Could God be preparing to re-establish such spiritual and material flows in our time? And what of Tarshish, often mentioned alongside Ophir in Scripture? In Isaiah 60 verse 9, we read, "Surely the coastlands shall wait for me, and the ships of Tarshish will come first, to bring your sons from afar, their silver and their gold with them, to the name of the Lord your God, and to the Holy One of Israel, because he has glorified you." While some believe Tarshish refers to Spain, others propose it may signify any major seafaring nation involved in international trade. With its long history of maritime commerce, could the Philippines be symbolically linked to this biblical image? The idea isn't just about geography, it's about destiny. The Philippines, like Tarshish, might play a key role in bringing worship, wealth, and witness to the ends of the earth in preparation for Christ's return. This is more than a theory, it's an invitation to look again at what God might be doing through this resilient, faith-filled nation. In a time when the world is rapidly shifting, God often raises up the unexpected. Could the Philippines be a chosen vessel for spiritual renewal in Asia and beyond? Could this humble archipelago be part of God's plan to bring light to the nations and riches, both material and spiritual, into his kingdom? This moment calls for a deeper understanding, a new perspective, and a readiness to embrace our role in prophecy. Imagine starting your day with a revelation you never expected. What if the Philippines, though never explicitly mentioned in Scripture, is quietly woven into the fabric of God's prophetic design? A nation of more than 7,000 islands, bursting with breathtaking landscapes and a culture rich in tradition, might actually hold a deeper spiritual calling. This archipelago, nestled in Southeast Asia, could be far more than a tropical paradise. It might be a vessel of divine purpose. Could it be the modern link to ancient lands like Ophir, known in the Bible for its vast treasures and connection to King Solomon's empire? Or perhaps, is its unique standing as the largest Christian nation in Asia positioning it as a spiritual powerhouse in the final chapters of Earth's story? Today we take a journey through history, prophecy, and scripture to explore the bold possibility that the Philippines is not just a spectator, but a prophetic participant in God's great unfolding plan. The story begins at the dawn of civilization, after the Great Flood. Genesis 10 maps out the table of nations, tracing humanity's repopulation through Noah's three sons, Shem, Ham, and Japheth. And here's where things get intriguing. Some historians and biblical scholars propose that the Filipino people, with their unique blend of physical traits, languages, and customs, could trace their roots to both Japheth and Ham. Japheth, the eldest, is considered the forefather of many European and Asian nations. His descendants, including Gomer, Magog, and Madai, spread across continents. One figure stands out, Tagarma, son of Gomer, believed by some to have seeded Asian bloodlines that may have reached as far as the Pacific, even the Philippines. At the same time, Ham, father of the African and certain Asian civilizations, produced nations like Egypt, Mizraim, Ethiopia, Cush, and Canaan. Could it be that Ham's descendants too journeyed eastward, mingling with Japheth's line and giving rise to the vibrant Filipino identity we see today? If this lineage theory holds weight, then the Filipino people are uniquely positioned in biblical ancestry, a rare convergence of two mighty lines. Japheth was blessed with expansion, influence, and territory, a promise seen in Genesis 9 verse 27, "May God enlarge Japheth." Meanwhile, despite the curse on Canaan, Ham's lineage gave rise to some of the most influential civilizations in world history. This blend could explain why Filipinos are among the most culturally adaptive, spiritually fervent, and globally widespread people in the world. Across continents, Filipino communities thrive, not just economically but spiritually. They carry their faith boldly into hospitals, oil fields, classrooms, and households, quietly but powerfully shaping the spiritual climate wherever they go. Could this global reach be more than coincidence? Could it be fulfillment of a divine assignment? Now enter the mystery of Ophir, the biblical land synonymous with wealth and exotic goods. In 1 Kings 10 verse 22, we're told that Solomon's ships returned from Ophir every 3 years, laden with gold, silver, ivory, and even peacocks. For centuries, theologians and explorers have speculated about the location of this elusive place. Some point to Africa. Others suggest India. But a growing number of modern researchers are turning their gaze toward the Philippines. This nation has long been rich in natural resources, especially gold. Long before the Spanish arrived, native Filipinos adorned themselves in intricate gold jewelry and even used gold in daily life. Maritime trade routes connected the islands to India, China, and Arabia. Could it be that Solomon's legendary fleet once sailed eastward, through the Indian Ocean and into the Pacific, landing on the shores of what we now call the Philippines? Though we may never find the definitive location of Ophir, the evidence tying it to the Philippines is compelling. A remote island chain, overflowing with resources accessible by sea and deeply connected to ancient trade? The similarities are striking. If Ophir brought prosperity to Israel, then the Philippines, as a potential match, could symbolize a bridge between biblical legacy and modern influence. In tandem with Ophir is the lesser discussed but equally fascinating Tarshish, another symbol of maritime wealth and prophetic significance. Isaiah 60 verse 9 speaks of the ships of Tarshish, bringing silver and gold to honor the Lord. While many place Tarshish in the west, the Philippines' extensive trade history with the Middle East, and its rich seafaring heritage, opens the door to a broader interpretation. Could this nation, long immersed in maritime commerce, be tied to these ancient narratives? Even if these geographical theories remain speculative, one thing is beyond doubt: the spiritual significance of the Philippines today is monumental. With over 80% of its population identifying as Catholic, and millions more as evangelical Christians, it stands as a spiritual lighthouse in a region dominated by Islam, Buddhism, and Hinduism. This is no accident. In Matthew 24 verse 14, Jesus prophesied, "This gospel of the kingdom will be preached in the whole world as a testimony to all nations, and then the end will come." The Philippines, uniquely equipped with a deeply embedded faith and an ever-growing diaspora, may be one of the most active participants in fulfilling this prophecy. Across the globe, Filipinos carry their Christian identity boldly, often in countries where the gospel is restricted. They serve as nurses, engineers, caregivers, and laborers, but also as quiet missionaries, preaching with their lives and testifying through love, prayer, and perseverance. The scale of this movement is staggering. With over 10 million Filipinos living outside their homeland, the Filipino diaspora acts as a global missionary force. In places where traditional missionaries are blocked by governments or cultural resistance, Filipino believers have access. From Saudi Arabia to Europe, from hospitals to oil rigs, they live out Matthew 28 verse 19. Go and make disciples of all nations. They are not just fulfilling a biblical command, they are living prophecy. Their hearts carry the gospel, their feet bring it to new lands. Is it possible that this wave of faithful witness is a part of God's grand plan to reach the nations before the final trumpet sounds? Another crucial piece of the prophetic puzzle is the Philippines' unwavering support for Israel. In Genesis 12 verse 3, God declares, "I will bless those who bless you," a promise tied to Israel and her allies. The Philippines, against all odds, has stood with Israel during pivotal moments in history. During World War II, President Manuel Quezon opened the nation's doors to over 1,200 Jewish refugees fleeing the Holocaust, a humanitarian act few nations dared to make. Then, in 1947, the Philippines became the only Asian country to vote in favor of Israel's statehood in the United Nations. These acts of compassion and courage are more than historical footnotes, they are prophetic markers. Could this allegiance to God's chosen people be the reason for continued favor and spiritual vitality in the Philippines? Have you already clicked on the like button and subscribed to the channel? This helps us understand that you are enjoying our videos and YouTube is sending you more. We count on your help. Let's go back to the video. As we approach what many believe are the last days, the pieces of the puzzle are starting to align. Revelation 7 verse 9 paints a breathtaking picture of the end, a great multitude, from every nation, tribe, people and language, standing before the throne and before the Lamb. The Philippines, with its global diaspora and undeniable missionary spirit, seems to fit right into this prophetic vision. Filipino believers are already on the front lines, worshiping, praying, and witnessing in dozens of nations. Could it be that they represent a part of this countless multitude, a nation that carries not just cultural beauty but divine purpose? In a world rapidly shifting toward geopolitical unrest, especially in the Middle East, the Philippines' alliances and spiritual posture could place it in the heart of end-time movements. Its military ties to Western powers, its growing influence in Southeast Asia, and its unwavering support for Israel suggest a deeper role in the global stage than many have imagined. While Scripture may not name the Philippines directly, its fingerprints might already be on the prophetic scroll. A beacon in Asia, a missionary to the nations and a friend to Israel, the Philippines could be a hidden instrument in God's symphony of redemption. What do you think? Could this island nation hold a key role in God's end-time plan? Drop your thoughts in the comments and don't forget to subscribe to Deep Bible Studies for more eye-opening connections between ancient prophecy and today's world events.